I didn't want it to be like, so it doesn't follow the book's
chronology.
path. Yeah, not at all. What we've taken is the essence from it. And then we adapted literature to screen. Okay, because what's also happening is that there's so much of content around this genre. How do you differentiate?
The sheer brilliance of this whole team. It's not just performances, it's the screenplay, it's the direction, it's the technicians. It's the kind of series that will be shown at a film school someday, if not very soon.
There's so much that she is hiding, right? Like a word that I went for Rita is that she's always suffocated. And I think that's also an energy that she kind of gives anybody that's in her life. She doesn't make it easy for anyone. She's not likable at all because there's so much that she's just wrapped up inside her because she's chosen this righteous path.
Daldal is a terrific show. Not an easy watch, but as you continue watching it, you realize the sheer brilliance of this whole team. It's not just performances, it's the screenplay, it's the direction, it's the technicians. It's the kind of series that will be shown at a film school someday, if not very soon. I'm Hrishi K, and please go give it a lot of love. It's on Amazon Prime Video. And here's the team. Hi guys.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you.
After that introduction.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to start at a slightly innocuous point. I just loved your relationship with Geeta, the other cop.
It's my most favorite
It
part.
was just so beautiful. I'm done with two male cops and bonding.
Yeah.
Two male cops taking killy of each other, which has been happening from Akshay and Saif
Correct.
to now. Two male cops and their bonding, one being the sidekick. It is just such a beautiful relationship, and it doesn't get written normally. Many congratulations to you, to Amrit. It doesn't get written normally like that, you know, where one of them is a woman of very few words, and the other one is just overtly expressive. You wonder if it's a mother-daughter relationship playing out, but it could be a elder sister, younger sister relationship playing out. And you guys have just complemented each other so beautifully. So talk to me about that. Talk to me about how fulfilling that must have been.
Well, thank you so much, because for me, after I watched the show, that was something that I enjoyed the most, because Matre's character brings certain amount of warmth to a very cold person that Rita is. You know, and in many ways she helps the audience understand a lot more about who Rita is. You know, because Matre is that gap, that vacuum that my character always had. The nurturer, you know, that maternal energy in this girl's life that she never had, and that's why it's so difficult for her to love Matre back. She's constantly pushing her away. She's so harsh with Matre. She's so harsh, yet Matre is her biggest confidant. That's how usually a parent-child relationship works, especially with your mothers. You know, you're so tough with them once you grow up, and you know, but they're just there selflessly, and I think that's what Matre does for Rita, and she's that one person who she knows about her darkest secrets. They might not discuss it, they might not acknowledge it, but she knows, and Rita has this weird comfort with her, and I think that's why she's always so brutal with her. But Matre doesn't go. She doesn't. One of my most favorite scenes from the series is where Matre is removing Rita's nazar. It is.
My favorite scene is when she tells her saying, "You love me, but you can't say it."
Yeah.
You know, when she's eating, which I just think is fantastic.
Yeah.
And also the kid turning around and saying, "I want one cola," and she says, "Go get three." You know, so they're family to each other.
They are.
You know, and it just shows in those few scenes. And I think that those lighter moments are very needed in a show like Daldal, which just keeps you on the edge. Aditya, what was very interesting about your part was he has a conscience. Despite everything, despite the crime, despite the drug addiction and everything, he has a conscience. Do you think too much about that when you take up a part? Or do you say it'll just happen if I do the lines? Because it's actually very complicated. Because you expect criminals and drug addicts not to have a conscience, or a conscience to be killed for various reasons, like in Samara's character's case.
Yeah.
So how did you shape it?
No, so I think, I mean, first off, though, it was all of it was on the page, right? The script written by Rohan, Shrikant, Priya, and Hussain, and then of course with Suresh sir and Amrit. It was all there to be sort of all of them. It was just for me to mine from what was in there. I think that to me was actually. I'm glad you caught on to that, because that was the most interesting aspect of Sajid for me. Of course, there was the addiction. There was this parasitic or symbiotic relationship with Anita. But the idea that despite everything, there is still vulnerability, there is still self-awareness, and there is a line that will not be crossed. You know, that perhaps, as you will see, it sort of plays out, especially towards the end of the show. But I think that to me was something that I feel like when everything is sort of, you know, when the character is losing everything that he has, that's the one thing he can still hold on to. And for me, that was heroic, right? And then the more I sort of started researching addiction and sort of speaking to addicts, or, you know, even reading about it, that was one aspect that, I mean, it is shown in popular culture as something that is lost to addicts immediately, like that sense of morality, but that's not always the case. And that for me was this is the silver lining, and the silver lining is what makes him heroic in the given circumstances, which are so stacked against him, that, you know, there's very few ways that life could have turned out, given all the impulses and the influences he had ever since he was a kid.
You know, Samara, I've always known you're a fine actor, but parts like this come to actors after their 10, 11, 12 films old.
Absolutely.
When they've garnered the experience of many shows and series. To be thrown into the lions, you know, like they do with gladiators, is not an easy thing. You must have been petrified at first, you know. I mean, having said that, you've done a great job. But normally, like I said, it doesn't come to people like you who've done like 3, 4, 5 projects. So how fearful were you? How did you get over the fear? Was it scene by scene, or?
It was scene by scene, and it was overwhelming. And I mean, there was a lot that helped me as well. I mean, cutting my hair was a huge plus. It changed the way I saw myself. And that helped me a lot. And obviously there was a lot of in-depth research. I watched whatever I could find that I could watch online, and obviously I sat with Amrit and Suresh sir a lot, but it was overwhelming. I mean, I took a while to get out of Anita. She really did leave a mark, and it was difficult for me to let go of her also.
Can you watch your stuff now and say, oh my God, I did a good job? Or do you
know.
pull quick loopholes?
I'm very critical when I watch myself.
You're hard on yourself. You shouldn't be.
Yeah.
You've done a great job. You know, the one of the barps of this converting novella to fiction is Sameer Nair. And Sam does this wonderful thing that he sends us books, you know, once a year, and the last of the Mohicans, still gifting books to people. And he told me once, because he's making all these books into TV shows, he said the difficult thing is what to leave out. Is that something you faced a problem with, or were you very clear that you had to leave out this? Because when you fashion a screenplay from a novel, a book, you have to leave out, right?
Yeah. So
what do you leave out, is the question.
no, in this one what we did was, I didn't want it to be like, so it doesn't follow the book's
chronology.
path. Yeah, not at all. What we've taken is the essence from it. And then we adapted literature to screen. Okay, because what's also happening is that there's so much of content around this genre. How do you differentiate? You know what I'm saying? So any literature can get slightly dated in 1 year, 2 year, whatever. So what we did was the good parts, like especially the character, Rita's character is from there. We took it from there. Of course, there's a killer there. But we completely changed the world with keeping in mind a 7-episode series, and also to round it off, because what I just didn't want to do just a slasher killer kind of a thing. There needs to be some life to when we are speaking about death. So I'm saying that's something that we took care of. We didn't get too attached with it, but we were inspired from the character. That's it, Rita's.
You know what happens with thrillers, and shows which have multiple murders is the pace is fast, the audience expects it. Cut, 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 cut. But it's interesting that you would break it with songs. You know, and very interesting songs because they're very retro feel. It could easily have been Kishore Kumar singing it, but it wasn't.
you got it.
You know what I mean? And I found that pretty fascinating because it's not retro. I mean, it's a 90s, 2000s kind of setting, even when you're doing flashbacks.
Yeah.
So, whose idea was that? Yours, Suresh's,
It was
writing room?
It was in the script because also the murders which we have are following memory killing. You know, there's a mood, there's rain, there is a certain texture to that. So I think rain, song, and that memory which the character is wants to relive again and again. So I think it was,
Ritualistic aspect.
yeah.
I know lots of directors would have said, let's leave the song out. So I find it interesting that you chose to stay with it. Actually, it works. It really works.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah, so I think it was there from day one. I think it was there, the most important, the most interesting montage, the song which is in the third episode about them.
Yeah.
I think that's where it all starts in the script, and then we carry that song in all the coming murders which happen. So it was there in the script from day one, and we wanted to keep it like that, and I think that also because of that the series becomes different. You know, the murders become different because in most of the crime shows the murders are very vanilla. You know, so that was a very interesting part, that how you treat it and how you bring that memory aspect to the killings, and why this character wants to relive that with of course the partner. And then when you were asking him about that question, and it's the matter of his realization in that house scene when they are fighting, when he comes to that Acharya Nivas, and he realizes that she's doing it all for the selfish reason till this date. So once he realizes that, then his conscience kicks in and he takes that journey. You know, yeah.
So, talking about music, Hrishi, like I believe in writing with music. I mean, anyone who knows me, I love music. I think basically the Maniratnam school, so as simple as that. In this, especially because I found we wanted the scores to be in a certain manner. There needs to be see, conflict always helps. When you have something melodic and something gruesome happening, it does something to you. You can't explain it. We had a fantastic composer, Subhajit Mukherjee, one of the leading advertising composers. So he came on he's the music director on this one completely. He's composed the score. So music for sure was to add to the conflict. I mean, like, of course there are layers, as you realize in the episodes, I spoke about memory and all, but mostly I personally feel that music always adds to the conflict. In a heavy scene, gritty scene, put something soft.
So Bhumi, she's stoic, she's angry in a lot of ways, she's suppressing childhood trauma, all that is given. You expect her to be cold, but she also cries a lot.
Yeah.
Was that on the page? Or was that a lot of you just spontaneously feeling this scene is going this way?
No, we actually also discovered that aspect of hers because I feel there's so much that she is hiding, right? Like a word that I went for Rita is that she's always suffocated. And I think that's also an energy that she kind of gives anybody that's in her life. She doesn't make it easy for anyone. She's not likable at all because there's so much that she's just wrapped up inside her because she's chosen this righteous path. Right? She is in a uniform. She's meant to do what's right, but she's constantly killing that instinct that comes in every time she wants to stuff something in somebody's mouth. Every time that killer instinct in her kind of like jumps out. So I think we found the crying because who is Rita? She is a child. Her soul is of a child that's not healed. She is that child who wanted a mother's love. You know, she's broken, she's so guilty.
And at work, she has to be steely all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when she gets a moment alone, she just breaks down.
Absolutely. So, you know, and also the times that she does break down, she doesn't cry easy. You know, for example, when Matre dies and she actually goes like after everything is done and she goes when her last rites are being performed, she doesn't shed a tear. And that was a conversation that Amrit and I had, and I was like, no, I think she's done. She's had her cathartic moment. She's let everything out, and she's moved on.
She's cried earlier when
cried earlier, like
the
she's
cop walks
sobbed.
in. The cop walks in on her.
Yeah, she sobbed. I think that's literally the only time that you actually see her break down. That's away from her mother.
How do you get Ananth Mahadevan and Rahul Bhat to do one scene?
Hustlers that we are.
Yeah.
No,
Ananth is lovely, of course. And I'm sure he's a friend of yours.
Too kind to me. No, he was just too kind because one of the reasons was.
So I'm like watching, Ananth will come back somewhere.
No, he's been
Rahul,
too polite.
2 scenes, one scene.
He's too polite. So I actually requested and he readily agreed. And similarly, Rahul also, I think Vikram's team, I think they requested, and that happened. Because I wanted each person, and he is the first person whom you see, and it's Ananth's character is the first one that kind of triggers her. So you needed someone who's genuinely good, but diabetically good. So that you feel that you're band kar yaar. So there was no one better. So we thought that I think he was very, very generous to come on board.
The cinematography is very interesting because there are a lot of dark khopchas. Rooms are dark, places are dark, boats are dark, and you've gone in there and done it, you know. I could say Maniratnam School of Filmmaking, but
that is all creatively.
But that is
but who's your camera person?
His name is Rakesh Haridas. He has been
done
a very
good job.
integral part of the show.
Because to shoot a thriller in dark spaces like this, you need the right person.
No, and what they did was they did a lot of homework. They had their own, not that everything that I said they agreed. The fact is that they had their own language, and that's why I love the fact that they took the onus on thinking like, nahi yaar, let's not try to be sensationalizing in terms of our camera and lensing. So they're like observers and many times. So yeah, you can.
Because I think because the show, the characters were going through so much, so we just like less is more is what we went ahead with. So not like accentuating the moments, just being there, like just observing them, and that really, and because the show is also set in monsoon, so and there's a lot of darkness in each character's lives. So we really, and because the challenge was to, when you shoot in Bombay, how do you make it different?
Yeah.
But kudos to the production team and the DP team also, because they all just got together and found such amazing locations where you have not seen. Like there are locations in the show which you've not seen in any show, any film. So that really
shot it in the monsoons.
Yeah, I could figure.
Usually people run away.
So much fake rain.
The Bombay that we live in is actually seldom represented on screen.
Yeah.
It's like we say that the Ballard Estate, the Kali Pili.
Correct.
This is what I love about the show as a true blue Mumbaikar.
Same.
Is the fact that this is actually the city we're living in.
Yeah.
Visually at least,
Yeah.
So Samara, what is also which I really liked was when she's around male company that she wants to impress or she feels for. That's when your single dimple comes out, which is the cop. What's his name? The actor's name? Saurav. He's so good.
So good.
He's such a sweet Bondhu.
Yeah.
And of course, when you're with Sajid, which is Aditya's character, and then flipping that. Did you have challenges?
Come on, I want to hear this.
Cold-blooded murderer. Cold-blooded murderer, and suddenly go to charming the men.
I do actually, sorry, for the previous question or the previous statement you had made, I wanted to say that because you said, you get this part very, very late on in your career. I really wanted to say that I think for Suresh sir and Amrit to see me in that audition and then believe, because what I did in my audition is very different from what I ended up doing.
Wow.
And for them to see that I'm capable of it, I'm very grateful. So Thank you.
Rulan Bhat.
And yes, okay, what's challenging?
She conveniently avoided.
Politics next time.
Flipping from cold-blooded murder
Honestly,
to charming princess.
yeah, a little bit. it was a little bit. I was, because I think I knew with Jatin, I knew I'm being selfish. And I knew why I'm doing this, and who Anita is. She's manipulative. She will find her way. And if she's going to use somebody for it, she's going to use them. So that was fine. This was a little more like, okay, I'm obsessed with this guy. Okay, come on, So that was a little more like, okay, I need to really be soft around this person, which comes naturally to me. But that flip there was a little more challenging than with Jatin.
I think this would be a good note to end. Is another thing, I mean, the childhood trauma thing is there. I mean, you've been asked that, you've been explaining that. But the fact that, कहते हैं ना कि चोर और पुलिस में क्या फर्क है? You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. And I love the fact that there's so many times in the show when you've used that very tellingly. Bhumi will look at a mirror and suddenly she'll see Samara. In a lot of ways, lives are similar. What they've gone through, but one chooses this path and one chooses the other path, and to bring it back in interesting ways and non-filmy ways. Any of you can comment on that. I think that's a very special part of Daldal.
I also personally feel that जो आप चोर और पुलिस की बात कर रहे हो ना, it is also the good and bad that exists in everyone. Right? It is the little choices that you make every day that kind of define who you are in entirety. And usually when you look at the police force in any of the work that we've seen, there's nothing human about them. They pretty much are very poster cut out to just be correct. And I feel this is a very interesting take, because the thing is, the amount of brutality, violence, blood that people in a uniform see and don't really get to deal with any of those emotions. And also what's really interesting about the show is the politics that you see within the department, which also kind of adds a certain amount of lightness. It is too good. My most favorite.
You open LinkedIn, na, everybody's talking about optics.
Yeah.
Everybody's a management guru. Na? Everybody's giving advice these days.
So true.
Sorry,
I'm almost there. So, I just feel like one of the primary themes also being this, which I've forgotten what my answer was, but I think
but it's really, really interesting, because Bhumi's life, your life in the show could have easily been Samara's life.
100%. There's that.
One push here, one nudge there, and that's
100%. I think that's why she also understands her, because she has this weird empathy with Ananth. She knows Anita. She is Anita. She could have easily gone that side.
And especially the flashbacks of the shoving stuff in the throat helps.
And that's the camouflage also for her, right?
Yeah. You want to comment on that, Aditya?
No. I mean, I think that, like Bhumi said very, very well, you're defined by your choices, right?
Yeah.
And such are the circumstances of so many people in our city, where really what you are is determined by how you act given the same circumstances, and I think that's so well put.
Thank you, guys. It's so refreshing to have a wonderful conversation. Suresh is showrunner, Amrit is director, Bhumi, Samara, Aditya have done such a wonderful job. Please go watch Daldal, Amazon Prime Video. Thank you.
Thank you.
94.3 Radio 1.